Across America with your radio buddy, Jimmy Failla. We're going to have Sean Duffy in the next hour. We will get back to more of your phone calls as well. One of the things we've been talking about as it pertains to the southern border and the fact that we've had 1.7 million known gotaways since Biden took office, the fact that we're facing a humanitarian crisis here in our country, the likes of which we legitimately have never seen. Okay, you've had 8 million people come into this country under Biden and Mayorkas.
You have no idea how to defend a nation.
They have no idea at all. But the people who bear the brunt for this, we always talk about, you get thrown out of hotels. Veterans are getting thrown out of hotels. If you fought for this country, you're in the streets. But if you snuck into this country, you're in the suites.
That's not right.
But another group that's bearing the brunt of this, beyond strained infrastructure and high tax bills, are kids. Because these children wind up in schools that don't have the infrastructure or the capacity. And I know that on a personal level because one of our best friends, Sandra, who lives down the block, is a school teacher, and she's being overwhelmed now with massive class sizes. There's obviously a language gap, and the resources don't exist to provide for these kids. Joining us now on the show, someone who's doing a lot to bring attention to that. Someone who is, almost the closest thing to royalty on this show. She is the wife of Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. She is the great, legendary Erika Donalds. Hey.
Jimmy, thank you so much.
No, this is a big deal.
Good to be with you.
Level with me, okay? No one's listening. It's just you and me. Who picks out Byron's clothes?
Byron picks out his own clothes, but I do have influence in the area for sure.
All right. That's interesting that you say that. So you're like a focus group, because I do the same thing. Like, my wife wants nothing to do with the clothes I wear on TV. Like, for real. Like, she doesn't want to own this, but I do use her as like a sounding board. Is that essentially the role that you play?
Well, I won't say that he asked me, but I have vetoed a couple of ties that just do not look acceptable on television.
Erika Donalds, in addition to all of your credentials, okay, you are the CEO of Optima Ed, guest faculty at the Leadership Institute School Board programs, but you're also, I didn't know this, a sergeant in the fashion police. I had no idea.
That's right.
A decorator.
When it comes to my own husband, we need to keep him looking good.
No,
he is a reflection of me.
I think you're well within your rights on that. I think you've nailed that one. But I do think, for real, I think you should have veto power. But I think every guy should be trusted to kind of go in his own direction to the extent that it's safe. That's what I think. Because fashion is about capturing your energy on a given day. And if his energy is a certain thing, then he should go with it. But you're right to say certain ties discredit the whole process. You stand your ground. You have our unilateral support here as a radio show.
I appreciate that.
All right, let's get on to substantive issues really quick. We do have to do some adulting. I apologize. I was telling a personal story before you came on the air. One of my friends lives actually 4 houses down from me here on Long Island, is a city school teacher here in New York, and her class has been completely overwhelmed. And of course, she has compassion. These are children, but they don't have the resources, and everyone's education is suffering as a whole. Is that something you're seeing in Florida and maybe in other states as well?
Well, the entire country, and especially our major cities, are seeing a huge influx as a result of the invasion at our southern border. Mm-hmm. And just like your neighbor, the teachers are suffering. But most of all, this is unfair to American students.
Yes.
I mean, studies have shown, even in other countries, when you have a massive influx of immigrants, non-English speaking, they're taking resources away from American children who are already behind because of the pandemic and also decades of failure in our public school system, not to mention. Mm-hmm. But not only do the teachers' attention get diverted, we're having to hire more social workers, more special needs services, and those are all resources that not only do our districts not have, but these resources should be used to catch up American students who deserve the very best education possible.
That's a great point. We're talking to Erika Donalds. A lot of our kids right now, if you look at proficiency levels, it's not pretty, okay, in terms of just reading at a grade level or being proficient in math or something like that. And it doesn't get better when you dilute the quality of their education. And I don't believe this is the fault of the teacher per se. The teachers just don't have the resources there to get this done. So what is, like, between you and me, if me and you took over tomorrow, okay, once we got done vetoing Byron's ties, okay, what's the next move? Do you start by securing the border? Like, what is your group trying to prioritize in this moment?
Well, I would absolutely say that we need to secure the border because we have to protect our resources. As you said, the proficiency rates are abysmal already, and we have to stop the bleeding of pushing these resources out to other students who are even more behind. The next thing you do is what we've started to see slowly, more transparency, more accountability for proficiency rates, not taking them away like we just saw the state of Oregon do, completely eliminating the requirement of students to be proficient in reading and math to graduate high school. No, we're not going to lower the bar, but we're going to be honest about where we are compared to the bar. So everyone knows this is where we have to get to if we, America, wants to compete on the global stage because we are so far behind.
Thank you. Very well said. We're talking to the great Erika Donalds, third member of the Donalds family that I've had on my show. I don't know if you know this, but when we were down at CPAC, Mason Donalds snuck onto the show.
I remember, and it was the highlight of his life, actually, Jimmy.
Stop
he still
it.
talks about it.
Stop it. He's like a childhood star. He peaked too soon. Well, listen, we actually resented his appearance because he raised the vocabulary of the show by way too many words. He is classically educated, so we're big proponents of classical education. Yeah.
Shout out to the Optima schools.
That's really funny. Well, I will tell you this. The fact that people are starting to, maybe take up this issue a little more vocally is something I appreciate as a parent because the kids right now are getting the bill right for so many political policies that don't benefit them and they have nothing to do with. Like kids don't have a lobbyist group. They have parents, but for the most part, the shutdowns, they were the victims of the shutdowns. The border crisis, they're the victims. So the fact that you're giving them a voice, I do think is commendable, and I want to thank you for that.
Well, I appreciate that. I've been doing that for over 10 years now, starting with my own children, finding, like you said, they didn't have a voice, and so many other parents feel the same way. So at Optima Ed, we're happy to do that, and I appreciate you taking this opportunity to talk about an important subject.
Oh, well, to be clear, I'm only buttering you up because I'm performing at a comedy club in Naples next week, and I might need a designated driver.
Yes, it's right down the street from my house. We'll see you there.
Oh, hot damn. That's big talk, Erika Donalds. All right. Well, we're going to play the varsity that night. But thanks for this, and I will see you down in Florida. This was epic.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You're the greatest. There she goes, the legendary Erika Donalds.